Okay, hi.
Huh.
Today we're meeting with Heather Bohannan. She is the local baker here around Lookout Mountain, but she services what parts of the valley?
I'm pretty much everywhere. I've done things as far as Clean Creek and all the way out to Maricopa and Goodyear in that area. So I'm kind of everywhere.
Yay, perfect. So she's also the business owner of The Love of Flavor. And tell us a little bit about your company.
So I do a lot of like catering style, special orders for people. I really like to try to incorporate flavor profiles. I even have a little website talking about different flavor profiles because you can take any recipe and completely adjust it and change it based on what your needs are. I like to do things based on seasonally because I'm also a big gardener. So I like to take, for example, one of these is apple butter, as it's fall season right now. One of these is lemon lavender, and just kind of really create a nice flavor profile. So I do catering throughout the valley. I do special events and all of that.
Love that. So outside the kitchen, who are you? Tell us a little bit about you. What brightens your day?
Well, I am now a mom. I'm a new mom, relatively new mom, and I'm also a big gardener. I like to do things that have, like their own growth and what grows in our valley and what also is growing seasonally. And also I know where it comes from. I think that's really important, especially now with mainstream farming. If I can grow it, I know what the soil is and I know how well it's been taken care of. And I like to produce that kind of product. So gardening is my number one. Baking is probably my number two. And I like to combine the two.
I love that. That's awesome. When did you decide that baking was going to move from just something that you did as a hobby to your business?
Oh my gosh, I think I had a midlife crisis at like in my late 20s. I don't know.
Turned out to be a good crisis.
Right. I've always been a creative style person. I used to do hair and I liked the end results, the creative side of it. But through my whole teens and my 20s, I was doing cakes just for fun. And yeah, my midlife crisis said, you need to go to culinary school. So I did. I was a little late in the game and I was like, I need a big head start in this. So I went to New York City and interned in New York City. And that's when I was like, okay, this is my new career path. So.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you went to New York City.
Yeah.
So you already told us a little bit about the brand, The Love of Flavor. How does The Love of Flavor impact what you garden at home?
Well, I like to, obviously everything's seasonal, and at home I do a lot of fruit and I have a lot of fruit trees. So I like to really incorporate that. Obviously it doesn't always work because there's some things that will just never grow in our beautiful desert, unfortunately. I know it's sad, but I try to incorporate as much from my garden as I can, both with herbs, rosemary, mint, lavender, even down to like tarragon and all that, and try to produce that into baked goods. For example, I just actually made for an event, I grew a bunch of butternut squash and I made butternut squash creme brulee for an event. So that was kind of a fun one. Right?
That
and
sounds amazing.
Talk about locally sourced from my backyard. So
you didn't have to go far to get
exactly. I like to incorporate all of it.
I love that. I love butternut squash and I love creme brulee. What's one lesson that you learned in your first year as a baker that you still live by today?
It's okay to say no.
Oh,
yes.
That is not a lot of people learn that lesson in year one.
Right.
It's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah, no, because it's true. Because sometimes you can get yourself overwhelmed. And I think especially coming into the culinary game a little bit later than some of these others, I would just do anything to get a job or do anything to get myself out there. But then you end up doing backbreaking and not fair. And so it's okay to say no.
I love it.
Be fair to everyone.
That's perfect.
Think about that and I'll write you a 5-page essay on it. No, I don't know.
Perfect. Just put it into ChatGPT.
Right.
It'll
my best friend, ChatGPT.
Mine too. Does all my marketing. Tell us 3 beginner tips that at-home bakers can use.
Oh my gosh. Plastic wrap is your best friend.
Plastic wrap?
Yes.
Okay.
Down to, this would be even a fun little segment to do, plastic wrap wrapped around a a mixer, gets it from flying everywhere.
I have never ever done that, but that sounds magical.
Right. And plastic wrap doesn't melt until like 400 and some odd degrees. So you can actually line baked, like when I make a tart, you can line it with plastic wrap and fill it with like baking beads and it won't.
What are baking beads?
So it's something to weigh down your tart or your pie crust to still keep the form of the pie crust, but if you need to par bake something. Yeah, kind of interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
Piping bags are your best friend. Yeah. Use them and use cheap ones if it's just for very basic stuff. And then if you're really decorating, don't use reusable. These are very, very interesting tips strictly for bakers. So
I'm going to use all these, except for the bacon.
Right. Clean as you go, because baking's a messy, messy business. You have to stay clean, otherwise it's a disaster. I do a lot of chocolate work, and in my beginning days, I would come out. I started switching to black chef's jackets because when I was first baking chocolate, it was everywhere. But clean as you go, and that's much better. So
every time I've been baking, my son wants to bake with me. He loves cracking the eggs and
I can't wait for those days.
They're coming. But now he's been baking at school in the sand pile. So he'll bake a cake for his teachers and put a little stick at the top ask them to go blow out the candles.
That's amazing.
Are you having your son bake with you yet?
Not yet. He is just complete madness. Still working on the garden baby thing. And then we'll move to baking because he likes to be outside, but he just likes to walk around and see what's happening. But no, we haven't started baking yet. He's too chaotic still. He's too young.
Look at that.
Right. But I cannot wait for the days where I can make him my little baking assistant.
I cannot wait to see that. I love it. Give us a quick tour of what you offer and the types of events you specialize in.
Catering seems to be my main go-to because special events are really, really fun. In general, the way I like to eat is I like to try just a little bit of everything. I won't eat a massive piece of cake, but I will have a bite of this and a bite of this and a bite. And I love that concept. So I think catering's kind of played the best into that. So like as a spread here, this would be one event kind of option. And we have 7 different options here.
Walk us through the different options.
Oh yeah, so we have like a mint fudge brownie.
By the green.
Yes, we have a brown butter oatmeal chocolate chip. This is a Mexican hot chocolate cookie, which is a really fun one because it has just a hint of cayenne and cinnamon. So it's not a spicy cookie, but it just gets a little bit of kick in the back,
which is so good for Arizona.
Yeah, it's a really fun one. We have a lavender lemon shortbread cookie. An apple butter, perfect for fall. They're called a Strasburger cookie. They're a very neutral flavor as far as the cookie base, and then you can really highlight whatever type of jam you put into it. This one's interesting. This one is a butterscotch espresso sea salt cookie.
Oh.
So if you're into the sweet and salty, I think it's one of the best. So it's kind of a fun play on the sweet and salty. And then we have our little cheesecake bites. And I make a million of these of different styles because cheesecake can go a million different ways.
It sure can.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a little sample. We do everything from cakes to ice creams, chocolates, all of that.
Oh my gosh, you make ice cream?
Mm-hmm. Ice cream is one of my favorites.
Say less. Not my next order being placed before we leave. So for a first-timer guide, if someone orders from you today, what's one can't miss item that you would recommend they order from you?
Cookies are probably my most ordered. Obviously, a cookie is great. They're pretty simple, but you can get pretty unique in it, like we talked about the shortbread. So I think those are fun because we've also done all kinds of different variations based on your events. Like we just did a lemon rosemary cookie, which you wouldn't expect rosemary in a sweet, but it's really, really nice.
Delicious.
Yeah, because it's nice and light, but you still get the hints of rosemary. So those are kind of fun to me, probably some of my favorites. If you have the budget for it, I make beautiful little mousse galettes. They're like, or gâteaux. They're very just delicate mousse cakes with that shiny glaze on top. So those are really pretty. So it just kind of depends. I have too many options to just pick one, but I really I don't know. I say order them all.
Just a little sampler. I love it. So lead times, do you have a minimum? What do you tell people when they book?
Some of it's dependent on the type of party. If we have a big catering event, we at least need a week in advance. If it's a pretty basic order, you at least need 3 to 4 days. I'm pretty flexible and trying to work with people as much as I possibly can because I also understand things come up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at least 3 to 4 days allowed me to really get what I need to get done.
I love it. Perfect. And then dietary options. Do you have gluten-free, dairy-free options?
I do. Coming from a wife of somebody who's vegan, I have vegan options. I like to have those in my back pocket. I do and get requests often for gluten-free, and I have the ability to make it pretty easily. I just suggest if you're celiac, I don't work in a gluten-free kitchen, so I kind of just put that out there. So there is flour in the air, but if it's just the dietary restriction or just for lack of gluten in your diet, then I can absolutely make gluten-free as well. So
sounds great.
Yeah.
Do you have a typical type of customer? Is it families, cafes, offices, event planners?
I'm getting to do more with a lot of event planners and a lot of office events and a lot of weddings. So those are probably the majorities of what I'm doing. But I've done things from bar mitzvahs to just even funerals, which is hard. But a little bit of everything. Small little birthday parties. I've kind of done from large to small.
Do you do wedding cakes?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
You literally do it all. Tell us a story about a customer that reminded you about why you do this.
Wow, you keep throwing these hard ones at me.
I know. I never said I was going to make it easy.
I know, right? I actually started doing stuff. This was back when we were in Oklahoma. I did a lot of side projects with foster families, and we did for like a foster alliance program where we made a bunch of desserts and we actually auctioned them off, and then all the proceeds went to that. So that I like to get into the volunteering side of it too. So that one was really fun because it also was giving back, gets you a little more motivated than the average order. So that was fun, and I would love to continue to do more stuff like that. So.
Well, someone I'm sure will reach out to you
I know,
about that now that you said it, asking for a good cause. What systems do you use that keep you sane during your busy weeks?
Oh my gosh. Started when I first worked in my first catering company that I worked for. I just worked for them, but they were very adamant about structuring an order and basically breaking it down so it's not overwhelming all at once. So if you can break it down into segments, it becomes much more realistic. It's kind of that saying of how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, kind of the same concept. So if I can break it down and make it much more easy and not overwhelming, it's much more pleasurable to do the orders. So I've gotten that down really, really well. So I'm happy with that.
Stress.
Yes, less stress for sure. No, we don't need chaos baking. It's not fun.
Give us 3 stress-free upgrades to elevate a brunch breakfast.
Girl.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if they're not stress-free, but
lower stress.
So to elevate a brunch, one of my favorite things to do, as we talked about ice cream, I make an orange creamsicle ice cream. I know. And that's a really fun one to elevate for a brunch because everyone loves mimosas.
Everyone loves mimosas.
So
I think you're going in the direction.
Yes. So that's probably like my whip it out in the back pocket kind of thing because it's actually really easy to do, but it kind of brings a different angle. So yeah, we just do a glass of champagne with a nice scoop of orange creamsicle ice cream, and it is so good. It is like phenomenal.
So I'm throwing a brunch party soon. I haven't planned it yet, but I'm just starting
Seriously?
to right now.
We've even done the same thing with like a grapefruit sorbet.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
And do you use local ingredients for these?
As much as I can get my hands on. Okay. Some things are just not realistic, like a passion fruit sorbet, which makes a really great mimosa as well. So but we're not Hawaii, so I can't grow passion fruit enough to produce the puree for it. So yes, I love to do as much local as I can, or grow as much as I can. And yeah, not always, honestly. So
sorbet mimosas.
Sorbet. I think that should
like
count as
that
3.
covers
I know, right? Yeah, you don't need any more than that. You've elevated your brunch party right there.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And then, do you have a local favorite bakery?
Ooh, I love checking out bakeries. I think I don't see anything as competition. I think it's more just fun to see the different elements. So in Glendale, there's Bakery, which is a really, really nice one. Really big fan of them. There's a gluten-free bakery that I really suggest, Jules Bakery down, I think in Arcadia. They're 100% gluten-free. So if I ever get the request for somebody who has like celiac, it's not something I can produce because I don't work in a gluten-free environment.
Yeah.
But I really suggest them. I really like the owner. She's awesome. So those are 2 really good bakeries. Yeah.
So
I
love things from there. What should we try?
I mean, there's so much, especially with the gluten-free, because I love bread, but I understand certain people have hard times with gluten. Really, we shouldn't consume crazy amounts of gluten. It's just hard when you bake bread.
Yeah.
But a lot of their gluten-free breads are delicious. Oh yeah, and then you feel a little less guilty when you're shoving it in your mouth.
Our house sitter is gluten-free, so I'm going to go down and pick her up next time she watches us.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's talk about your website then.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us about the website.
My website is theloveofflavor.com, and it's not even an ordering platform. It's not a way for me to kind of sell you my product. It's more of a resource tool to really understand different flavors. And as I'm really indulging in the different flavors, so can you. And you can also manipulate any recipe for that. You can also pair. I'm really into pairing ingredients together. So for an example, I have cinnamon, and it'll tell you the region and the different types of cinnamon and what it pairs well with, because you can change any recipe and make it exactly the way you want it. So that's kind of my little fun project that I think I enjoy the most, because I love taking flavors and pairing things you wouldn't necessarily think of to go together and incorporate that into baking. I think that's my real jam right there.
Oh, I love it. And then a personal question, because I stalked you a little bit yesterday. Did you find a recipe for the perfect chai? Because I love chai.
I do, and on my website, I have a lot about chai, because chai to me is so fun. Chai is just, I love it. I love incorporating, and some people like chai differently. I've realized a lot of people like it. Some don't like it as peppery because it does have black pepper in it and white pepper, depending on the recipe you find. So it talks about that, and it talks about how you can manipulate it. Yes.
Oh, perfect. I'm so excited. So if you're planning brunch, office meetup, or if you're a realtor who wants delicious pastries for your open house, contact Heather. I will put all of her information, how to get a hold of her, in the caption.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yay. Thanks.